Hello, all. Welcome back, Royals. Happy New Year! Despite everything that's going on, Happy New Year. I'll have our co-host introduce herself, and then we will get started with what the show is about for today.
Right. Happy New Year's, everybody. Not well, I said New Year's with the S, and I did not mean that. Happy New Year, everybody. How's everybody
We're
doing?
upgrading our show.
Right. Happy first. Is this the first Taco Tuesday of the year? No, it's the
Second,
second. Happy Taco Tuesday. Y'all just no, I'm not even gonna do it. I've been off all day. I've been
I
off day.
can't. And she's been real off all day, by the way. But I ain't gonna hold her. I ain't gonna hold her. So today's topic, we are going to be talking about some tips for the fire, renters insurance, because I hear a lot about homeowners insurance, but there are renters that are impacted as well, and what that looks like. A couple of do's and don'ts so that you don't get in trouble or things are not seen a certain way. And then we're going to go into, I'll be discussing with you guys how you can actually take time off work. I have not seen that discussed with anybody, and that is something very important. And then last, we're going to end with a good old don't judge me but topic. And it is going to be from a couple. So they're like six things. They're regular things that apply to regular life that we can discuss. So we'll close out with a good topic and some good discussion. So first and foremost, I am tripping. I am tripping. So look, that's what happens. I done sat here and talked about row and then did the same thing. Here we go. Y'all bear with us too. I'm still in a zone where there are high winds and all of those things. So for some reason, my computer keeps getting knocked off. And you guys know that that's how I control the media portion of this show. So I do want to say happy 112 years to my source of the amazing, magnificent, devastating, divine, devoted, feet on the ground, Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. Um, I'm proud of us. And let me tell you why I'm proud of us. First of all, I'm proud of California.
Mm-hmm.
Let me tell you why I'm proud of California, because in all of the devastation that has ever happened and that we have watched, there have been boots on the ground on a national televised level to aid and help people. I don't know if it's just me, but for me, I'm feeling like the redhead stepchild. And I think that's very interesting because seeing a lot on TikTok is, oh, those are celebrities. Oh, those are rich people. Baby, it is regular people. That's a celebrity group is a small group of people. So
A
the
very
disrespect,
small group. Very
it is
small.
out of control. It is out of control. And if you pay attention, you're not even seeing any of the celebrities talking about their loss. They're even being respectful of the fact that, guess what? I did lose everything in this home and I left and went to this home. So you're not even seeing it on that level. But California as a whole, we are showing up for each other and showing
Mm-hmm.
out. Um, I'd like to thank the sorority for this Founders Day. We should have been in LA this weekend, but as a collective, the decision was made to retract the rooms that we had booked there and to allow some of us kept the rooms that we had and donated them to anybody that would need a
Mm-hmm.
room. We did not go down and have a Founders Day. How do you celebrate in the middle of that, right?
Dang.
And
Yeah.
instead, we were boots on the ground at Zion Church, handing out gift cards, brand new clothes, things that were needed. And so think about that on a bigger scale. When we celebrate a Founders Day, it's a region, right? Within our
Mm-hmm.
region is Hawaii, Japan, all of these places. Those were plane tickets that were purchased. Those ladies were already here. And those ladies decided to help instead of going home or continuing with their trips. So that is the reason why I am extremely proud to be a part of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. That is what charged me with being a part of that sorority. We are
So was
feet
the,
on the ground.
you guys were celebrating in California this year?
We were supposed to. So the one year I didn't have to buy a plane ticket or do any of those things. Yes, it was here. And typically it kind of bounces around because you have to have enough space for all of those people. So within our region, It's typically in and around somewhere here, Arizona, Texas, things like that. But
Okay.
yeah, it's around here. Sorry, not Texas, but it's in and around here. But we did not. We pushed it back to do our service because that is who we are.
That's what you for.
Sisterhood,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
social action, scholarship, and service. So thank you to my source. I did have a huge picture to share with y'all, but I forgot to upload it. I'm literally jumping from that meeting, coming over here, and I completely forgot. But it is there on the chapter for Pomona Valley Alumni Chapter. It is there. So,
Mm-hmm.
um, happy Founders Day to us.
Happy Founders Day, ladies.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so let's jump right in. Let's discuss um, disability. The way that you can take off time, if you truly need to take it, it would be through disability and typical things. Um, don't quote me. This is between you and your doctor. But typical things that are covered if you have FMLA, number one, 12 weeks of job protection. Now,
Mm-hmm.
to get paid for it, that's typically, I keep saying typically because California pays disability, but some companies don't pay into it and you have a different structure. So you have to
Mm-hmm.
go a different way. But
Oh
you
my
take
God.
time off
Sorry.
because, no problem, some of the things that people experience, well, I'll just share what I experienced.
This my
I
nick.
had a fire. That's okay. I had a fire years ago and we lost everything. You guys, when you see somebody that says that they lost everything and maybe, right, example, you see half of the house burned down, but the other half is not, the other half is deemed a loss as well because we know you love disability because Jesus. Um, the other half was deemed not able to be used. Our bottom half caught on fire. The top half did not. But let's think about this. That's fire. That's hot. The rest of things melted. They were not able to be used anymore because of smoke. And there are certain things you cannot take. So none of the electronics that, like I walked in my room and physically saw a TV. It was covered in soot, smoke, for all of these things. And I could not take them. So when somebody says that they have a total loss, that's what they mean by a total loss. Those things are not yours anymore. They do not work and they are not functioning and you cannot take them. For me, the fire chief was here, so it was a little bit different. I literally couldn't take things that I probably would have tried to sneak and take because the devastation of it all. It's a lot. It's a lot when that's everything that you have. Mm, my heart goes out to these people. Um, Now let's talk about insurance. My insurance did not cover all of my stuff. My insurance, and there are people that I could bring on that can attest to it because my girls decided to take me on a trip in the midst of being displaced, and we were on our way to Vegas. I got a call from the insurance people saying, I'm sorry, the cleanup people, because there's a crew that comes in and cleans up, and they do try to save your clothes if they can and send them through proper care. I was quoted in 2015. Was that 2015? It was 8 years ago. 2015, I think. And I almost crashed my car. $33,000 to clean my clothes.
What?
If I'm lying, $33,000 because they had fire, they have soot, they have all these things, plus the amount of clothes. If that included my shoes, clothes and shoes, $33,000. My insurance policy at that time, because I was thinking, oh, if something happens to my house, $30,000 should cover it. If you know me, you can understand. I never shared any of this, and I know I've been saying for years I was going to talk about it, and I haven't because I still have trauma till today. 3 nights since these fires, I have woke up with a pillow full of tears because I'm having a nightmare in my dreams.
You're
Um,
reliving it. You're
I'm
reliving.
reliving it and I'm feeling like I'm there. So when I'm waking up, I'm looking around. If I smell a little bit of smoke, because we can smell it down here, it's traumatic, which is leading to the STD part, right? Um, if you know me, you know that I'll just list the top 3 things that I had. Y'all know I talk about my cheerleading uniform all the time. I had that from when I was a senior. I literally just took a picture in it a week before. It's on Facebook. But I had 75 collector Barbies in the box, perfect condition, all gone. They melted. I had 10 Cabbage Patches in the box, perfect condition, collector's items. I had the very first one that came out.
Mm.
My stuff was not covered. I just told y'all I had this amount of insurance and the clothes was this much. That was
So
only my room.
is okay. So with your insurance, which people probably want to know because it happened out here, you have regular insurance, not fire insurance.
I have renter's insurance.
Yeah, renter's insurance, but you know now they want you to have regular insurance plus fire insurance.
That is if you're a homeowner. We're talking about renters.
Okay, y'all talk about renters. Okay.
And the reason why they separated the two is because insurance works on a probability, right? What's the probability that this will happen in this area? Since we've been having so many fires, the probability that a fire will happen because
is way higher now.
Okay. So what they're saying is we're not going to keep replacing all these houses. Do something to save your house. Do something to make sure that you have something covered or pay the additional, just like to have a rider. If you have renter's insurance or any insurance, earthquake is not covered. Earthquake is separate.
Yeah, it is. But
and we don't even have a high likelihood of that.
Shouldn't whoever you written it from, they should still have rental insurance on their property too. So it should be 2 insurance policies on that place.
So they have owner's insurance. So don't forget, after my fire, they tried to sue me.
Who? The owner?
I was going through that for like a year. They tried to sue me, correct? Even though the fire marshal had already deemed that they didn't upgrade their electricity and the power box or whatever. So that's why the thing was there. So I could have sued them in addition to what I got from my insurance. I could have sued them.
I would have, just for them playing games with me. Like, you know, I didn't start this, and you know it was your fault because y'all be slumlords and be being cheap and don't want to upgrade nothing.
Right. So with that, when the fire happened, I was upstairs in my room exercising. I had on a sports bra and I had on tights. I smelled the fire. Me and my sister ran down the stairs, saw it was coming from the garage, saw where it was, and we tried to put it out. As we're trying to put it out, we yelling to tell my nephew to go tell the neighbors, and then also get the dog in her cage and basically rounding things up. But me and my sister are trying to fight this fire. We're not trying to lose our house. Once we determined that the house, like, it was too much smoke, the neighbors came from across and he ran in with the water hose. At that point, it was, I have to get out of the house. I went to turn to go up the stairs and I couldn't see up the stairs. I just told you what I had on. In the garage, I remember my cheerleading uniform sitting right there because homecoming was coming and I was going to put it on. And I went to grab it and the fire brushed across my arm like that. So I had to run out of the house with only a sports bra and my pants and watch my house go up. These people, listen, do not tell people it's only stuff. My baby book was in here. My life was in this house. My jewelry that my aunt that passed that gave me, it was in this house. Those are little things you can't find because, like, my diamond earrings, stuff like that, you can't find it because they're pushing things sometimes when they come in. They was hitting the roof. They broke the garage. All of those things move as well. So you can't see them anymore. I lost everything. So please don't tell people that. That's at the height of everything, because what immediately happened is I had anxiety. What immediately happened is I even smelled anything that smelled like fire, I would start panicking immediately. My doctor had to take me off work because I couldn't function in a setting where I had time, if that makes sense. And I had my own office, so I would work. But while I was working, I would just sit there and look at the computer. I would just sit there and look because I also had to keep coming back and forth, checking on the house, doing all these things. Remember, I said it was a fire chief. You got to go back. You got to keep reliving it because you got to keep looking at it. When you talk to the insurance, they're going to ask you a million questions. What really helped me is that I had pictures. because I took so many pictures around the house, I could prove, for instance, there's a TV in every room. It was several laptops in the house. I could prove those things. So when I went to itemize everything, I kind of got stopped in the middle because, again, my clothes, that took out the whole insurance policy. So I didn't need to itemize anything else. And
Did they
just
do a
make sure
good job on the clothes and shoes? Because that's a lot.
$33,000.
They should have been
Amber
great.
was in the car with me and Gina was in the car with me. I'm not lying. I was like, what?
Did they look brand new?
I didn't get them done. If
Oh,
you got your money and you capped out on that, what did I have to do? I had to refurnish the house. I had to do all it. I couldn't get that done. So at that point, you're picking between things, and basically they stop you right there and just cash you out because you don't need to keep
yeah.
itemizing
I
things.
would have been
One
like, yeah,
thing.
I'll try to my best. I'll find. Let me shut up. I'll find
So,
somebody that know how to do that for less than 33,000.
so I basically paid to get my clothes back. I paid $7,000.
How they make you pay to get your clothes back?
I paid $7,000 to get my clothes back, and then I took them to the laundry place in Pomona on Gary, and I took them to a professional cleaner, and they was able to clean some of them. So,
Francis, what's the name of it, Francis?
I paid $7,000 to
Who
get my
had them
clothes
that
back.
you had to pay $7,000?
The company that came and get them.
Okay, what was the $7,000 for?
To release my clothes.
But just to, girl, I would have took them to court because that was a scam right there.
You can't think of none of this when you're traumatized.
Yeah, that's true.
There was nobody there to help me. There was nobody there to be there for me. Not like that.
Somebody else should have thought about that for you because I'd have been like, bitch, ooh, I forgot we can't cuss no more. Give me my, see, I can't even, oh my gosh. Y'all already know how my mouth is. Go on, Asian.
So, things to consider when you are electing your renter's insurance. If you have a roommate, you should each have your own policy because my sister didn't have insurance. So what I got, I share with my sister. Everybody ain't gonna be so lucky. Some people is gutter as fuck and they'll take it and only, oh Jesus, they'll take it and only care about themselves. I, however, didn't. I completely did things for everybody. I didn't just do for me. I got myself a hotel room. I got my sister one. I did her room. Well, sorry, I didn't do her room. I made her pay me back for her room. I did the kids' room, living room, kitchen, all of that. I redid the house. And I paid for while we were displaced. We were displaced for 3 months. It took 3 months to redo everything. So get your own policy because what I was thinking of when I got my policy, I remember being on the phone with the lady. I looked around my room and was like, oh, this should be enough. No, if you do your business from your home, everything, you need to have a policy that will cover if you lose everything. Think about your clothes, your medication, your underclothes, your dishes, your stockpile, your dish soap. Like you have to get everything back again. Everything is gone. How are you going to do that? That's what you need to think about. So you need a policy, and your roommates or whatever other adult is responsible for their room, they need their own policy. Because if something happens and you have insurance, they can't look to you for nothing. You can't even include their stuff because you probably gonna max out with your own stuff. So you need to think about that.
I remember that happened to me. Well, not in the fire, but with my renter's insurance. When somebody broke into my apartment, they didn't want nothing. And after that, it put like a sore taste in my mouth. I really didn't want renter's insurance no more because I'm like, every time something happens, they did that. They said they didn't want to pay because I couldn't prove that I had it. Like you said, I'll take pictures of everything, but they was like, no, they need the receipts. And I'm like, why do you need the receipts if I can show you?
They don't do that anymore. If you have pictures,
yeah, because I'm like, who keeps receipts for all these years? Like I don't want to be a hoarder because that's in my.
Let me tell you how to do it. You know how now they ask you email, all of that. So when you get your email,
with emails,
put it in a bucket.
like 15 years ago, we wasn't really doing all that.
Right.
So
Correct.
it was really like receipts. And
Right.
I don't want to be a hoarder like my mom. So I will throw everything away. So
Me too.
I don't keep receipts like that. That was one time they didn't want to pay. The next time it was at a storage when I moved out of that apartment drastically. And I remember the storage I had, the people next to me have food in their storage. And so, mouse and stuff was coming in there. And so they was coming through everybody else's stuff because of them. And they didn't want to pay. And that's when I was like, you know what? Insurances is really some scams, because I went to the rental office and everything. And I'm like, y'all open up their stuff. Y'all seeing that that's the reason they didn't want to pay. So after that, for a long time, I didn't get rental insurance, because I was like, for what? I didn't care that it was only like $10, $15 a month. Still, when I needed that, y'all didn't want to pay out.
Well, I just want to say it's so many reasons and things that I've been through that you can't make me believe it's not a God. Because when I tell you I didn't get any pushback, they was the nicest people ever. My experience, listen, people not being there for you and God being there for you, I cannot say that there's a time that I've been through something. It still hurts while you're going through it if you're looking for certain people and they're not there. But my core people was there to bring food, to do all these things. My core people was right there. They really were. And in a way that is very interesting. When people hear you have insurance, they think you don't need anything. That's not actually true. But that's a whole nother episode.
It takes a while for that to.
Even if it don't restore you whole, you still need help, and you need help right then. What did I say I had on? A sports bra and some tights. First of all, we know I'm fat. So I'm outside in a sports bra. My neighbors had to bring me like a blanket or whatever, because I didn't care. I was worried about saving my family. So I didn't even realize that I didn't have on anything until I got across the street. And you've been in my house before. I was across the street and I was like, I looked down, because your brain is not working. But make sure you have the right amount of coverage. So needless to say, after that happened, obviously I didn't have nothing at that point, but every time I do something different in the house, like once I started doing business in the house, I needed to make sure I had insurance to cover the business stuff that I bought, because it's not separate. It's sitting in the same space. So think about things like that. Every so often, you should review your policy to see if you still have enough coverage, because what else is different? COVID happened. Things are 4 times the amount that they were when you probably just had this coverage. You need to redo it, because if you need to replace everything today, it's going to be different than what you paid for it. So you have to be careful with that. Consider riders. Again, earthquake insurance is not covered. Items that are antique, which is what they put my Barbies under, wouldn't have been covered anyway, because that's an antique and you need a rider for that. It's not covered under your insurance. So even if I had the money, some of those Barbies would not have been covered. And one of them was worth $12,000. Needless to say, I don't buy things like that anymore. And that's a part of my trauma. I'm no longer attached to things. I don't even want them. I don't want them because I can't have what I had. And that's a whole nother trauma I had to work through, being disassociated. Now let's move to the part where you don't take advantage of your situation. You need to be very careful how you receive help. Okay. Some of these things cross over each other. For me, when we had our fire, there was a GoFundMe that was started for my family. I didn't know it. Once I found out, I think it was a little bit over $2,000. I asked for it to be stopped, and I thanked everybody, because for me, I knew that no matter what I got, it would be enough to get us back in the house, for us to be comfortable. I knew that I had insurance. I knew that we would be okay, if you will. I did not want to take from people, because when people donate, think about this. Some of them don't know you. That might be their last $10, and they're giving from the heart because they have compassion for the story that they're hearing. Right. I didn't want that. The money that was received to that point, the organizer asked me to keep it and was like, well, what about the kids? They need stuff. They lost everything too. They're in a room. They need to be comfortable. You know what? You're right. So as I did things for them, as for I would come back on and share, oh, this is what I got, this is what we did. And that money was specifically for Skylar and Kiera. And that's what that went for. But I did not want, I didn't need it. And I feel like those are times that show when you have integrity. Those are times that show when you're a good person. I could, considering my situation, considering how bad it was, nobody even knew what I really lost. Nobody even knew because that would add to the compassion, right? You lost you girl. You didn't play with your toys when you was a little girl. You saved them from when you got older because you wanted to give them to your little girl, or you wanted to have collectors. Y'all know how hard that is to have toys and not play with them. I literally did not open them, dust my boxes, keep my stuff. I got pictures of that too. I had a whole wall of Barbies. That alone would have made people give me a lot of money. I didn't want that because we were okay. Now, if we weren't later, then you ask. It's people that have insurance and that are also doing GoFundMe's and that are also at everywhere giving something out. Don't do that. Don't do that. Use the correct verbiage in your post. One of the biggest words that's standing out right now is rebuild.
Yep.
If you are not a homeowner, you are not rebuilding. That structure will be rebuilt and you will go back in and resume your life. Be careful with your words. And you know that some of you know that you are using them to do that heart trigger, right? If there's a couple of you in a home, you might want to collectively do that because you don't want to get reported.
Yeah.
You don't. You don't. And here's the thing. Behind the scenes of GoFundMe, Eventbrite, any giving platform are certain words that pull out triggers. Okay. Nobody has to report you. Example, when I gave my first nonprofit gala, I used the word raffle because I was doing a raffle. That word got pulled out and I got a letter from the IRS that said, you said you were doing a raffle, but you didn't register for a raffle. And I had to then register it and pay for it because my business, I had the proof, right? The money that was specifically for the raffle went in one lump sum. I did it accurately. The money for the tickets went in. You have to do things a certain way because I could prove mine and align it. And I was a new nonprofit. It was grace giving. We understand you probably don't know this. Here's the letter. Send us the money for this raffle, right? You have to be sure to use accurate words. The system will pull out these words. So be careful. As well, it's been a very fuck around and find out error. People that really know you, what if they get jealous and they see the amount that you have or something like that,
And
they want to
nowadays.
Right?
Wait, but we didn't say the proper words for them to use.
I did. I said you're restoring your life.
Or get back on my feet.
Get back on my feet. Help me get back on my feet.
Back on my feet after these fires, stuff like that.
Things like that. Try to be as detailed as you can with your real and accurate story. The point of GoFundMe and the reason is you're supposed to tell your story and be honest. And the reason why is I've seen one person within 48 hours, they have $455,000.
Yeah, I seen that too. The one I seen, and I think it was that man Walt, that a man from Altadena. Are you talking about?
It was a man.
Yeah, it was him. He was a coach, and he was a coach in Altadena, and after he retired, he still helped his community. Like he helped everybody. And when his story was just on Instagram, he already had made a lot of money. Then I think his story went on like 60 minutes or something. And one day, like you said, and one day he got 400,000. By the next day, he's at almost 900,000. So that just speaks volumes of the type of person that he really was, because people was all in the comments saying how he did for everybody. It's just been so like
that's why I'm proud of us. Yes. But that's my point. is going to be a lot of people giving right now. There are several of us that are giving to several different homes. My husband lost all of his stuff. His mother's house, they don't have it anymore. It is gone. His truck that he just got and just brought home had one more thing to finish on it, was included in that fire. He lost it. He has never even driven it. He lost it. His children lost all of their stuff. They live with him. They lost everything. They really did lose everything as renters. They lost everything, though. His mother, that was also her mother's stuff that was in the house that she lost a few years ago.
It's just sad. I be having to make myself stop watching it because
I had
I'll watch
to.
it all day and I be in there just tearing up at work and
It makes
everything.
you sick. But what
It
makes
do
me sick
like
is people taking advantage of it. So my uncle knows somebody that their neighborhood, most of it burned down. Their house was saved. They didn't lose it. They go to check on their house. Somebody robbed the entire house and took everything out of their house. I can't right now. It is way too much trauma sitting at home. I have a chapter member that was impacted. I have a line sister that lost her house. Locked, burned to the ground. Altadena as well.
Altadena is just if a lot of people hadn't even heard of Altadena. We heard of
Because
it
they
because
only know
of the
Pasadena.
print. They
Yeah.
only know LA, Compton, Malibu, Hollywood, but they ain't never heard of Altadena. But that literally was a predominantly Black city. 70% of the people was homeowners, and it might be passed down from generations to
It
generation.
was.
But
And
it
they're one
still
of the
was
last cities to own the
yeah,
land,
to
not
own
just
it.
the
So
home.
it's just hard to see a whole city wiped out. Like a whole city is just totally gone.
A whole street.
A whole
Listen, but
city. Like
even in the midst of all of that, your integrity is a direct reflection of who you are. Do not take advantage of these, even the resources. I'm going to challenge you not to even take advantage of those. And here's the reason why, right? Remember, I said I had renter's insurance that I knew would at least restore me and I could make some decisions. I was good, right? There's a renter out there that was a single mom that could barely afford to put food on her table, and she couldn't afford renter's insurance. She's really displaced. She has nothing. That's where that money should be going. Think about that person. Think about that person. Think about that senior citizen who stayed in a home that was paid off, but maybe they don't want to rebuild because they feel like I got 10 more years of life, 20 more years of life, but they're also not accustomed to paying rent. And now they're fighting with insurance and they have to figure out what to do as well. Think about people that legit have nothing and they're going to need these things that you may be double and triple dipping. And as well, they've already come out on the news a lot and said, hey, if you do any of these things, we are prosecuting you to the highest. On the back of COVID and all of the stuff that happened, y'all don't think these people are going to be paying? Is it worth it? Let's think about it. I don't think it's worth it. Don't be filing no false claims. Don't be filing no claim because you still had your stuff going to your grandma's house and it burned down, but you only had your mail going there. You really live somewhere else. And now you trying to file something too because your ID say it. Have some integrity about yourself.
yeah, it's too many people that are instantly homeless now for people to be doing that. Like
That are staying at shelters. So speaking of shelters, let's end this up. The guy from Nicholson Gardens.
oh yeah. That was so not just every girl, everything I would say, I would be like, that was so sad. Every person, I'd be like, oh my God.
Our deaths are so minimal. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus. Some of the deaths are decided by the person,
Yep.
if you
I was about
will.
to say most of them to me was decided.
They're
And not
decided.
really
The person
decided,
that
but
said, I'm staying and fighting.
exactly. I
The
think I don't
Nicholson
think
Garden
that.
guy decided to stay and fight. I
Mhm.
cannot imagine how his children felt having to walk away from that. His grandson that was 25 lived with him, and they had to go, and he decided to stay. And they found him in the bed the next
And
day, and he is
a
no
lot
longer
a
here.
lot of those older people really did not think that their houses were going to burn down. Like, I honestly think that they didn't think so. I don't think they would just be like, I'm just going to pass away in these fires. But
But
most
Ro, you
of the
got to
people,
think some might. Think about their age and how close we are to slavery and how close we are to segregation and those type of things and how hard they fought to get that house to do something different for their family and to watch it go up in flames. That's a fight era back then. They
yeah,
stayed and fought until so I have so
it's
much respect for
uh,
those
I
people. I wish you would have chose differently. And let's say a prayer that insurance don't try to say you voluntarily did this,
exactly. But no, they can't say that because they didn't voluntarily set their house on fire. Yeah,
that you
they voluntarily.
voluntarily stayed. So let's hope.
That, uh,
But if your policy outside of 2 years, some policies even cover that. So never mind. I'm pretty sure he got good stuff
yeah.
because the
That
clause is usually 2 years.
and most of the people, like you said, most of the people did that passed away was because they stayed behind or got left behind. Because that one lady from Australia, I don't know, she kind of pissed me off.
What
But
happened?
she was from Australia, but she came to live with her son that was disabled in Malibu.
Mm.
And they seen that the house, they got the evacuation notice to leave, but like a lot of people, they didn't think it was going to come that fast. And so her son has cerebral palsy, and she was like, she couldn't get him out of the bed. And so she said her son told her he lived in a cottage in the back. They lived on 12 acres, so that still is a lot. And he lived in a cottage in the back, and she said she had something wrong with her arm to where she couldn't pull him, and he told her to just leave him, and she left. She took her pet and left. I was just like, I don't know how to feel about that because a mom in me, I'm going to find some strength. It's going to be some way I'm about to pull you up out of that house. It would have been some way I would not have left my child in there. I just could not, but you picked up your pet and left. And then she said when she came back, the firemen took her to the house and his cottage was burned down. I just didn't know how to feel about her. She's the only one I was just like, I don't know, I'm kind of looking at you sideways because it was another family that had the same thing. The son
I
was diagnosed
couldn't
with
do
the
it.
same thing, girl. And that daddy stayed in that house because he said it too. They were saying that they said they couldn't put he was too heavy. It's dead weight. He couldn't get him. And the daddy decided to stay in the house with the son. So both of them passed away. He was like he wasn't leaving his son in that house, but the mama left and took her animal.
So here's a different subset. People that are impacted by it was a man on the news and on TikTok, and his entire street went down, but his house didn't because he covered
Mm-hmm.
it with water and did all of these things. But what stood out for me with him is that when he was crying and talking, he kept saying, I don't know why I'm crying. He like felt bad for crying, right? There's a certain thing that I've talked about that I suffer from. It's a lot of things that mhm. It's called survivor's remorse.
Mm-hmm.
He's It's hard to be happy, celebrate. You thank God, you do all of those things, but it won't allow you to live it outwardly. You feel bad. You wondering how did God save me? It's just really bad. And there are gonna be people that have that as well, that you're thinking and saying things to like, oh, but your house was saved. Oh, but th- don't matter because there are going to be some of those people that need therapy. So if you need to be taken off of work, then take off of work. The Red Cross, put it up right now. I was looking up what the Red Cross, other things that they do, and they actually have mental health support. And so they have a program that will help you get the emotional support that you need, be able to distress, um, counseling services. You don't understand how much trauma comes with that until you experience it. The loss of a pet. There were people that were trying to find their pets, and it was a
Mhm.
man reunited with his pet today, and he was
Yeah.
boo-hoo crying because he was out of town while all of this was happening. Came back and the dog ran into him. That man broke down his kneecaps. And I understand. I understand. Listen. Be careful with what you say to people. If you are a boss and one of your people come to you, it's not for you to say you don't look sick, that type of thing. If you are a boss and you've identified your employee is working a little bit different, suggest to them that they take that time off. Protect their job, because if they start doing things that are not appropriate or something goes haywire, let them take care of their family and their mental health if they need to. Some work better. Some want to go to work because they need to stay busy. My husband tried to go to work the next day. That's some people. Some people, you can't. Okay. Let that person be at home, paid, and with dignity. Okay. Because they've already lost everything. So you feel very vulnerable, very lost. You're numb. You can't, it's like the world is happening without you. So think about your people with that. Some of the things you can say when you go to the doctor: PTSD, anxiety, um, adjustment disorder, you're having panic attacks. Um, you probably would have respiratory problems. If you have anything to do with
Mhm.
respiratory, that will still impact you, because now you're also having panic attacks. And anytime you smell any type of fire, it could be a chimney, it could be anything, you automatically start panicking. Insomnia, all of those things are things to discuss with your doctor. So, very high level overview. Is so much to discuss about this topic. I will discuss some more things on Thursday. I will actually be um, discussing small businesses and how this impacts them, because there's a different subset of grants and things like that that'll be available for those people, because you have to rebuild as well. Um, and another thing, don't think these people not paying rent and bills because of what happened. I still had to pay rent and bills while I was displaced. If you're coming back to the place, you're in a contract. You still got to pay that rent, and that owner still got to pay that mortgage. So you're essentially paying to live two places. It's a lot going on. Have some empathy, or just don't say nothing at all. If you want
Yeah,
to
just
help,
don't say nothing at all, because
that's
people being really
best.
ignorant now.
That's
Don't say
best.
nothing at all.
If you want to help, help from your heart. If you're on the receiving end of needing help, I think this is a terrible time to overuse things, because by God's grace, you are still here and you have the opportunity to restore. I wouldn't use this time to do things that God wouldn't like. So I'm just saying, that's just me though. I'm a little scary cat. So, y'all ready to get into the clips? Do you have any question? Is it any question that you would think that somebody would have that you think that I should answer before we move on to the TikTok story or
Mm,
TikTok thing?
no, I think when you were saying it, I was saying it. So no.
Okay, perfect. Um, yeah, that's it. And a special heartbreak for anybody that didn't have renter's insurance and could not afford it. You other people, that was your choice. Yes. Okay, so this one is a couple did um Don't Cancel Me But, and they did a relationship version, and they each went back and forth with things that they do in their relationship that may be a little different, or should be topics of discussion. So we'll run through those. I have 6 but they're like 20 seconds. I broke it up so we could listen to each one and then talk about it. So I'll do the first one right now. Here we go.
Don't cancel me, but if my wife wants me to stay at home and spend quality time with her instead of going out and spending quality time with the guys, then I'm gonna stay at home and spend some time with my wife.
I ain't gonna hold you though. You can still go out.
Yeah, I know, but like it's just like some people just think that's blasphemy for you to just, oh, she ain't letting you do nothing. No, I'm not. I can't build a family with y'all. I'm building one with her.
Was he telling the truth?
Yeah.
Oh.
There are some men. So you don't believe that there are men that would rather be at home with their girl than to go out? You never dated nobody or was with nobody and they be in the background like, babe, say you want me to do this. I don't want to go. You never had nobody do that? No?
I need to leave. Shit.
And this why we ending on this, y'all. So y'all can know we still ain't got no sense. We still have regular conversations around about here because
look, I'm like, I be wanting you to leave, so maybe that's why.
Twin don't have no sense. I didn't ask, do you want him to leave? I said, is it time they would rather stay at home than go out?
I already know I would be like, no, shit, go with your friends.
You wouldn't lie for him?
Yeah. Yeah.
So my favorite part of what he said was, I'm building a family with her, not with you. Why would you not? Listen, this only goes for the people.
You don't hear it often. That's why you don't really hear that often no more.
Several of my partners have been like that.
I'm just saying, like out there, like
today.
You don't hear that no more. Like that stuff you do really want to hear. So that's why I'm like, is he for real? Because you really want to hear that stuff and you don't really hear that anymore. So that's why I thought it was a joke. I was waiting for him to say, I'm just playing.
I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. Happy 2025. We're still the same. Yes, there are ones that say that. There are men that actually propose to women when they are ready to get married, and they actually value their marriage and building their home over everything else because that is the way divine order is. My only question is,
I love it. I absolutely love it.
I do. And that doesn't mean you want to do it all the time, but it means when my no's are no's, because I simply want to stay home with my spouse, then my no's are my no's. I'll catch you guys next time.
Mm-hmm.
And that don't mean I'm whipped. That don't mean any of that. It means I actually got down on one knee, spent all this money on a wedding for the person that I actually wanted to spend time with. Go figure.
Yeah, that's why you need the person you marry needs to be your best friend first and equally.
Agreed.
Because you wouldn't mind spending time with your significant other and not going out with other people because you actually like them. Like you like being around that person. That's your friend.
Right. And there are times there's some couples that are really busy, so they don't see each other a lot. Like the way we work. He works way out there. I work out here. There's different things happen in relationships. Sometimes there was a period of time when my sister lived in Vegas and her husband lived out here because she was in school. Different things happen if you have a particular type of season, right? That can happen. What about if the person works all the time? So they one day off is Saturday and you call them and want to do something, but they like during this season, I probably won't have a lot of time to spend with anybody else. Hell, my partner barely sees me. So when I come home, I want to spend my time with my partner. To his point, this is the person I'm going to have kids with, build a family with. I picked this person. So it's nothing wrong with it. And I do know of families that try to guilt their person. Oh, don't forget about me. Oh, you running behind her or him. Oh, you choosing them over me. I chose them over you the day I got on one knee. Right. I chose you over them the day I stood before that pastor. And that is if you were a Christian and you took vows and you got married. You said those things. You said it. You said that you chose this person. So why people don't do it, I really don't know. I don't know why people get married that don't want to be married. But it happens. So next one, next case. If it don't come up, I'm gonna be mad. I cannot.
Amen. I don't like to cook. I just that simple. I don't like cooking. Has this man had a home cooked meal? Yeah. Is it happening multiple times throughout the week? He gonna have to talk to the Lord about that one.
And she ain't gotta cook for me every time because I know she be tired sometimes. Sometimes I can cook too. She ain't got to be the one to make all the meals.
But I do make up in other areas. Amen.
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 Oh yeah, they made for each other.
That one made me laugh because I can't remember who it is, but it's somebody that do not cook like that. They know how to cook, but they just don't prefer to cook at all like that. And I can't remember who
I
it was
don't.
that said it, but huh?
I said I don't.
It was you. Okay.
Look, I'm like, yeah, I don't.
Getting hot in here, guys.
I do
Well,
not. And it's just, I don't.
listen, in today's climate, social climate, the mother is not a housewife and just a mom. If you're a housewife, I think you should cook every day
Yeah, I do
because
too.
that's a part of your job to be a housewife. If y'all both work and y'all both do things, like men be trying to say, oh, well, we mow the lawn, we wash the cars. Those are once a week, once every 2 week type of thing. The
Exactly.
every day, buddy, we're doing this together.
Mhm.
Okay. That's what we're going to do. And here's the
And I think
thing.
that's where things be different at now. These men be wanting the women to do all this stuff and cook and do all that stuff every day. But I'm still going half with you. Nobody, we're going to cook together. Like he said, I can cook sometimes. Thank you, sir. Thank you. She
There's
ain't
some
saying
men
that
that
she don't
actually
cook.
like to cook.
Yeah, she not saying that she don't cook at all. She said she don't cook every day.
And do y'all know it's some men that don't eat once they get married? Because I don't believe they do this shit when they living by themselves and single till they 30 something. They don't like leftovers. They want fresh, different meals. I have a friend that her husband has a fresh meal for each of the meals. No
Oh,
leftovers.
do you say you got a friend?
Mm-hmm.
And do she work? Or she a stay-at-home mom?
She works from home. So yeah,
So
she works.
she still works.
Mm-hmm. But I'm saying that's how she's capable of making the 3 meals.
No.
But do y'all
Kudos
think that I
to
don't?
her.
I mean, she do it, but I don't
Look,
think
I'm
that's
like
fair to her because,
kudos to her. Kudos to her.
girl,
Because it could
been
be
married some 20 something years, and I'm like, oh, okay, well,
doing something. Look, she doing something right.
yeah, she been married 20 something years, and they also they closed their room at 9 o'clock, I think it is. Sorry, y'all, I really am sweating. It's this damn light gets on my nerves. Um, they close their room at 9 o'clock every night, and he enjoys his wife every night. When she told me that, I said, I'll never be a wife like you. Every night. I said, that must be some 15-minute shit, because
Yeah. I guess it just depends though.
it don't depend on this. Listen, my body is my temple. Okay.
Well, not. I mean, I want to do he meet every night, even on those time of the months and all that. She still got to.
I couldn't even ask that question,
You
but
know,
I was
men
just thinking,
all that stuff. Like,
oh, y'all must have like regular sex.
but ain't nothing wrong with that if the husband
There's
really.
nothing wrong with regular
Yeah,
sex.
it
I
ain't
mean,
nothing
I
wrong
would
with
like to
that,
have one
especially if
day.
he satisfies her. But she doing a
Yeah.
lot. She got to cook every day. What if you don't feel
But
like
my
it?
point was to have full on sex, 30 minutes or more every night. That's not
Oh, she
possible.
said it's full on.
No, what I'm saying is that's not possible. So I don't think that it's full sex
Yeah.
every. Yeah, like some people have quickies. I've never in my marriage had a quickie. Next one.
Getting back at your significant other for cheating on you or doing something that you didn't like is childish. And y'all just need to talk about it, get over it. Because if it's a cheating thing and you chose to get over that, then why are you trying to get back?
Yeah, I don't get that. Like, if you cheated, just leave.
Leave.
What's the point of the get back? I want you to feel as hurt as I did. Okay, y'all both broken people. Leave that person. Leave that man. Leave that woman.
I believe that.
And this is the one I was prepared for you to act a fool with.
No, I honestly.
Okay, tell me what you feel. I was prepared. That's why I done drank something. I done ate a couple bites so I was ready to go. I was ready.
No, I honestly believe that too. You know, I don't like cheaters. So I feel like I don't need to get you back or nothing. I'm just not going to F with you no more. I don't like a cheater. So I feel like you need to leave too. I totally agree.
I will have to agree.
I might hope that karma. I'm gonna hope that karma come back on you. But
Oh,
I ain't gonna
baby,
do
let me
it.
tell you something about marriage. Karma comes. So you sit back. It definitely
Yeah,
comes.
that karma gonna come back on you, but I don't have to do nothing. Like, it's gonna come back.
I believe that. I don't think that you should do anything with your body as a form of revenge. So you mean to tell me you chose to use your body to go get somebody back? And this is when things happen like this. Oh, you get something. You get the HIV plus. You end up pregnant. All of these things. See, women, be careful because more shit can happen to you
Yep.
than to him. Because even if he go out there and he cheat, he have 32 babies. They still with the mama. Yours is gonna be with you. Now you got to risk. You're gonna lose. You have changed your household, your permanent household. It's a double standard, but the actual visual is different. And I was listening to Kendra G, and I do understand that if a woman has 4 kids, a man has to move in and be prepared to help those 4 kids every day. Whether she say, "Oh, I take care of my kids, I got my kids," yeah, but y'all not getting a 1 bedroom. You're getting a house
Right.
that's you get what I'm saying? So I do get that. If you do it, that baby is coming home with you. He got to watch you be every day. He has to see that. So it's a little different. If you want to gamble with that, go ahead and gamble with it. I say just leave him alone if it feels that strong that you need to get him back. Men, if you feel like you need to get her back, I strongly suggest that you leave as well
They
because now
don't,
you're
and most of
included.
the time, a man ain't even gonna get them back. They gonna leave. They expect women to give them a million chances, but if a woman cheat on them, best believe they leaving. And if they don't, it's because they need the woman for something. So that's the only reason why they stand, and they're gonna cheat on her after that too. They only staying because they need her. Believe that.
That is 90%. There is that 10%. But that is 90% of it. And
Yeah,
you could
like,
be
come
the
on.
most amazing bitch, bad bitch, got your money, got this, got that. His heart will immediately change about you.
Yep.
It will immediately, because his ego, men have ego,
Yep.
women don't have ego. We have a heart. So you could break our heart and you could put it back together. An ego is not even something that you're supposed to have. Think about it.
No.
You're not supposed to have pride in all of those things. So it's not even something that should be there. So when it's there, it's not ego can never operate properly in that way because it's not supposed to be there. So it's not going to work.
But you know,
Equally,
with us,
the
I know
tit for
with me.
tat.
Yeah, with me, I don't have to do tit for tat, but believe me, I ain't gonna never forget. So it's best for us to go our separate ways because I'm never going to forget. Ever. Ever.
So I shared when I started King TT. I shared it back when I had Queen TT, which by the way, I'll pick up. Um, being realistic, and I shared the story of how my ex cheated on me. And when he cheated on me, that was the first time my heart was broken for real. And it was broken for real because when I grew up, the women in my family and the men in my family, for whatever reason, they've always guarded me different. And they
Mm-hmm.
always told me if somebody loves you, they will not hurt you.
Mm-hmm.
So in a relationship, yes, my feelings would be hurt if we broke up or something like that. But to actually detach was not hard for me. It wasn't hard at all. It was actually harder for me to find a reason to act like I gave a fuck. It was actually harder. But with this particular person, my heart and my soul, even till today, knows that that person loves me as a friend, and also they've been in my life too long. I knew they loved me. So because I knew that they loved me, it broke my heart, but it also was like my rose-colored glasses were gone, because it also allowed me to start having more grace for people and deciding what things I could deal with and what things I could work out, because it's no way that that person did that to hurt me. I just don't believe that in my heart, and I don't today, but it allowed me to see that if they love you, they won't hurt you doesn't exist, because you're going to hurt somebody in a different way. Not intentional, but you still could. So that automatically makes that false. So when I went into my next relationship, I went in thinking, okay, if this happens and this happens, because now I got to rationalize, I got to back myself out of this mindset. These are the things that would break me, and these are the things that wouldn't. Cheating for me and cheating and adultery are two different things, by the way. Cheating is in a relationship, adultery is in a marriage. Cheating for me wasn't at the top of the list because I felt like every man cheated. Because again, I'm now dealing with, if that man cheated on me,
and
the man that don't even
that
have to lie to me.
you. Exactly.
You can't make me believe it's a motherfucker walking this earth that won't cheat, because that's just how I felt. I really did. And I still loved him. I still had respect for him. I still did all of those things. But I no longer saw him the same way that at that point. I no longer saw him. We did not continue. But he was still my friend, which was very interesting. But that relationship, I believe I became a grown-ass woman after that relationship. And
It took me a while for mine. Like I knew
I was 30 something. I was 34, 33.
No, it still took me a long time to. What didn't take me a long time to figure out? And once I started dating other men, then I realized I knew that person loved me, but I just didn't like. I knew that that person loved me, so it didn't make sense to me. Like, I know you love me, so why would you cheat on me? So I felt the same way too. Like, oh, so it ain't no man that's not gonna cheat, because I know in my heart that this person loved me and they cheated on me. So it made me just think, like you said, all men did that. But then I felt like these other dudes that I dealt with, like, did they even love me? Like, it made my whole mind.
That's funny. So I did. I revisited all those other relationships, and I was like, oh, you was a real fuck boy. You didn't like me at all. Because if this man cheated on me and I saw tried to keep it from me, the way that I found out was God. He was not sloppy. Nobody told me nothing. I didn't figure nothing out. I didn't feel nothing. I didn't even feel it in my gut, because that person was always here, available, attentive, never acted guilty. No, except for a couple of times after I replayed it in my head with particular questions that I asked. But the person was never not available when I needed. They didn't change the script. They did nothing. So I was like, when the fuck did this even happen? Like,
and then what? You get new people and you'll be like, it made me doubt myself so much. Like, the hell?
It did. Like, bitch, you just really wasn't paying attention, huh? You just trusted somebody that much. So going forward, the next relationships after that, I kind of reverted back to end of relationships early, but for different reasons. So I would really pay attention to a dude, ask certain questions. And if their level of love and interest in me didn't match his, I didn't want him. Because then at that point, it was, we all gonna have to deal with something from somebody, because people got to break through my brick walls, my distrust, all of these, me being super hard on people, me being a workaholic, me being all of these things, right? Because you got to look in the mirror and look at yourself in the mirror as well. I know a lot of things happened earlier because I was not accessible. I wasn't, and I did not waver. If I'm doing something, I got a goal, I'm in school, I can't. I owed myself that. But for me, again, if you were not as interested in me as this person, and I mean on a friendship level, our relationship was built on friendship that went into love, that gave him a different type of love for me, then I didn't want nothing to do with you, because remember, I already know you're going to cheat. I already know you're going to do something. Is it even worth it for me to be with you? So I didn't have another relationship for quite some time. I didn't because I was
it
like,
made me act like a man. And it was
I,
so
I
many
was,
that said that,
girl,
like, you don't even act like a woman, you act like a man.
a
And I,
whole nigga out
because
here.
I don't have time to get my feelings hurt no more. Like, I don't have
No.
time for that. So I'm gonna treat y'all the same way you treat me, and then I won't get my feelings hurt. And when I was like that, no feelings hurt
They
at
was
all.
flocking to me. I was
No,
like,
yeah,
I'm
it
not
was
even
no
being
feelings.
nice.
I was like, that's when I had the most fun.
Me too.
When
Niggas
I was
backwards as
acting
hell.
just like y'all, when I was acting like y'all, but soon as you let your walls down and let flowers come in, then it's
They
over.
switch just like that and get to acting a fool. Because I had one relationship I tried. I'll tell y'all that story. That's gonna be that's gonna be a story time. I'll tell you this one later. But I let somebody in. It was actually around the time that we lost Shotty. And that person was able to get in because I was distracted, number one.
Yep.
And they showed up though. But I was
Mm-hmm.
distracted because I was telling the person, no, 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 no. The day I got home from, so I was at the jazz festival when I got the message. We, of course, clocked out, came back home. I had to come back home and get my car because I was with Akini. Rest in peace to my bestie that passed. I was in the car with her. When I pulled up, he was sitting outside. I hadn't to that point even allowed him in my house. The only reason he had my address is because he sent me flowers. But he called himself being there for me and showing up, which I understand. And so that's how the person became somebody that I was willing to date and take around people because you're here, you showing up. That's the biggest thing for me is time. Um, oh Jesus. He got cut off like in 5 seconds. It was I noticed the first lie. And the first lie I noticed, I was like, you out of here because you don't need to lie to me. I'm one of those people.
Yeah, I
Most
am too.
Aquarius
You don't
women
got
are. Just tell us the truth.
don't tell us the truth. And men always say that. Y'all say y'all want to know the truth, but y'all really don't know. I do want to know the truth. I
Name a
am.
time I flipped out from hearing the truth. Like I said, if anybody could give me one, I'll accept that. You can't.
Yep.
And
I
what y'all don't want to hear is our no. Our no's is no's and our yes is yes. If you tell me what you're doing and I say, you know what, I like you and you cool. I respect you for telling me the truth. That just doesn't work for me. Do you know I had a nigga cuss me out for that? And I was like, see, that's the problem. We tell y'all the truth. And then I was like, how you mad at me because I gave my answer? I don't have to say yes. And I didn't even get mad at you. I'm still telling you I think you cool. I respect you for being honest. But that doesn't work for me.
Yeah, like why you need to give a person an option.
Girl, cuss me out cold. So, next case. And guess what? Of course, the stupid thing just went off. Let me scroll to it in my phone. We're going to switch over. I think it was the third one. We got 3 more.
Getting back at your significant other for cheating on you or doing something.
Sorry, we're on 4.
I don't believe when you marry somebody, you marry the family. Okay? If you marry into a toxic family, it is the responsibility of the person that you're married to keep them in check because you should not have to deal with them the rest of your life.
Mm-hmm. And the family that you building comes before the family that you came from.
I'm heavy on the cutoff game. Okay? You toxic, I love him. I ain't got to deal with you.
Is this
Facts.
thing on? Is this
Facts.
thing on?
Facts.
How do you feel about that, Rose?
Everything they said is true. Everything, because like they said, you married them, not the family. I feel like a lot of families, a lot of marriages and relationships break up because they let the family influence them and tell them, oh, if I was you, I would do this or we'll do. Nope. Everything they said was true. If you got a toxic ass family, we don't have to be around them because we're building a family together. Yeah, that's your family. You might love them, but I don't want to be around that. But before we would get married, we would be having that discussion about that. So you would know that off back. So either you want to be with me and you ain't gonna be around your family if they're gonna be like that, or it's just what it is. You need to have those conversations before you get married. So everything that they said is absolutely true.
What if the family starts to act like that after you get married?
Okay,
Like,
you
what if
still
you
cut
have
them
a
off
life
after.
changing event and let's just say y'all start making a lot of money or they see you progressing together? Because one thing I will tell you is once I got married, my blessings started changing and they were different. They were for a family. And I know that's because I got married and honored my marriage. But there are people that started to say things like, oh, must be nice. Are y'all doing all of this stuff and you forgetting about other people, this and that, which is not true at all whatsoever. But there are people that say things, don't forget about your family. Don't forget where you came from. You hear stuff like that.
I think that if it happened like that, what people have to know is we built this together or we did this. We're not obligated to do anything for anybody. I tell people that all the time. It'd be the audacity. Like people, they like, y'all not doing this out here with me. So why do you feel like I need to reward you? So if I became a millionaire and me and my husband had it, for sure we're going to take care of our family, but you shouldn't feel entitled to think that we have to do anything for you because we're a family. So if they felt like that too, just like she said, y'all could get cut off. You could get cut off. That's my husband and this is our family. I don't care if we don't got no kids or nothing. This is for us. I feel like the only people that people are obligated, and this is just me, that you're obligated to take care of if you became famous or something, is like your mom and dad, if they took care of you and your children. You're not obligated to take care of your whole family. But people like us, we are going to do that. Like, it's like, we still going to do it, but don't feel like you're entitled to it.
Right.
That's where the problem come in, is when people feel like they're entitled to it. If you was like most likely, if a person was taking care of their family before, they gonna do it when they become millionaires too. But it's the fact of people be feeling like they're entitled. I seen the that boxer girl, the one that's messing with Remy
Okay.
And she was talking about that too. She not married, but it goes into the entitlement. And she was saying that she don't even barely deal with nobody in her family no more because
I saw.
Yeah, she was taking care of everybody in her family and they still wanted more and they feel like she was obligated. And then they start thinking and saying that she thought she was better than them. And then was her blood brothers and sisters, like the same mama and daddy.
That's what happens. It's usually your closest people. That's what I'm telling. That's actually more common than we think. And it could be something like you get a promotion. It don't have to be millionaire. It could be, look at how people do me and you. When it was just us, as if we didn't have like our rent changed because of who was in the house. We still had rent. We wasn't getting no low income, no big income taxes, no food stamps.
$20
and people treated us like.
And I would tell people that all the time. I would be like, yeah, I don't have no kids, but I still have more.
My bills are still higher than yours.
Yeah, mine is still higher than yours.
So, and I'm working way more hours than you.
Yep.
I'm still working hard.
Everything they said was correct. I wouldn't change nothing that they said at all.
So I agree. They're a little different because they don't have kids. I do believe that there are some things like when you marry somebody and they have children, I think that your considerations need to include them, but I don't believe that those children even come before you. Nobody comes before you. It is not God's fault that we do things out of order. So nobody comes before you. Here's where I think it's a little different. Like if you get married later, like I'll use me as an example. I got married, I was 36, right? The life I built to that point did include other people. Like me and Elise had property, the vacation property or whatever. That obviously is between me and her. It don't filter over into something else, you know? I had my own life insurance policies, all of these things where my beneficiaries were my beneficiaries, right? That stayed in place. The thing is, once you get married in California, your spouse has to approve that. Otherwise, you could put whoever you want to on the paper and it still rolls to your spouse. That's why you should have those conversations. Because for me, again, I married the person that I love. I want to make sure he's straight too. Let me increase this so you don't touch. I don't want you to touch what they have because I want them to have that. Because if something happens to me, I want all of y'all to be good. So you do make different decisions, but you talk about it and you make sure that your person is straight too. You don't just keep with the mindset, well, they wasn't here when I built it. Okay, well, like somebody did the math one time when people say, I was a single parent. I raised them by myself. Okay, you raised them today was 18, but this person is going to be with them from such and such until death. How do you think you trump them? You don't trump them. And guess what? You had them. They didn't choose you. They chose this person to have this life with. If you want certain things, get them for yourself. I can't stand it when I see people like they spouse pass away, because y'all did HR before, and the kids would call, that's my daddy and this and that, and I'm like, well, they have a spouse. Well, so what? I'm the kid. This is my daddy, and that's their spouse. Because guess what? Grown adult kid, if you wanted a policy, you could have taken out one for your parent. Then that would be your policy. If I have a policy, my policy go to who I say it go to. Get a policy on me then. You can get a policy if certain people can have a policy on me, because then that makes it your policy. But things like that, have your business and your shit in order, because nobody comes before your spouse. And that's on state level, that's under God, that's in every single space, except for whatever reason, Black households. You don't get to rewrite history based on the decisions you made. If you would have had your own husband or your own wife, I bet you wouldn't be talking like that. If your shit was straight, you know what I'm saying? But because you did things out of order, now you want to rewrite the rules. No, don't rewrite the rules, rewrite the solutions. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about how everybody could be comfortable. But your comfortability, leave and cleave, is there for a reason.
Right.
You're supposed to completely detach. But guess what that allows you to do as the parent too, or the family member. If you were helping, brother and sister, y'all was roommates. That allows you to now go live your own life too. And you don't have to be worried about somebody else. You did your job well done. Now they start their own family. And guess what? If you treat that daughter-in-law or son-in-law right, you don't think that the same love that your child gave you, it's not now going to come in an even better form, because you have two people that got together and they're going to make sure both their parents is okay. You're going to get more probably, but do you deserve to be on every vacation with them, paying your bills, doing this and that? You're able-bodied. No, it's not how that works. No, I don't understand people, but that's a big one, especially in Black families these days. I can't think of too many people that's not dealing with it. And that's sad, because I know so many married couples. Here we go. 2 more, and then we're done. Let's see if Ro agrees with the next one or not. She really embarrassing me in front of y'all.
Previous female best friends that you've had relations with, and you know what I mean by relations, don't need to be your friends no more after you get into a relationship or engaged or married.
No, that's facts. That's big facts. How in the world you expect to have a new relationship, but you be like, oh, that's just my best friend that you was literally like breaking her back 2 months ago. I'm confused. You expect me? Yeah, that's your best friend, all right. That's your best friend for real. No.
This one is a hard
What's your opinion, Rose?
I'm like, this is a hard one.
It ain't hard.
No, I just feel like, I don't know.
You
I
just
think
feel like what? Let me do my hair. Let me mind my business and do my hair while
you can. I do feel like you could be friends with.
But notice what kind of best friends they said. You was just sleeping with him, so it's really a bed buddy.
If you was just,
it's really a bed buddy.
Yeah, if you was just with them, like literally just with them before that person, then no. But if y'all was together years ago and all that, and I think that y'all could be friends, but not you talk about that's your best friend. No, because if y'all so best friends, y'all would have been together. But you being cordial and saying like, oh, like we cool or we still friends, I don't think nothing is wrong with that. But best friends is no. Like I said, y'all should be together if y'all best friends. Y'all would have still been together. So Agreed. That's where I think it's different. You saying using that best friend part.
I don't think that you should continue a relationship with anybody that if you got married in a church, that you couldn't invite that guest without a guilty conscience. And you couldn't sit there.
No, yeah.
They should not be involved in your life anymore. That doesn't mean that if you see them out, you can't say hi and bye and things like that. But as far as calling, um, maybe saying happy birthday, maybe something like that. But is that your friend any longer? No. Should you do anything with that friend? No.
Mm-hmm.
Because once you get married, it's like this glow about you. And people just, what if they see and start thinking, damn, I should have married that person. Dang, you start looking good as a husband or wife. And that person feels like, because people be feeling like this. Well, I was here first, so why can't I shoot my shot? I at least need to tell them how I feel. No,
But
you
why would you
don't.
wait until after that person got married? Like,
Because now you see him being a good husband, so now you want him. Or now you see him being a good wife, so now you want him.
yeah,
That
no,
have
that
people
would be
do
a no,
that.
and that would be the ones you really couldn't be around because it's like, bitch, get the fuck
Exactly.
on.
And that's why they say it's better to cut that friendship off
Yeah,
if they be wanting you or whatever, because if y'all was just getting down, how all of a sudden somebody okay with you taking their person away for
right.
forever? Now you hanging out with them, and again, they're seeing you in a different capacity and seeing only the good parts. Oh, they on a trip together. Oh, she got flowers. Oh, he getting dinner every night. Now all of a sudden that person starts to look different to you, and you have access to them. Cut it all off. It's the devil's playground. I don't agree. And I got a story for that too. That'll be a story time shot. I just got to get some waivers signed because these people, they're trying to sue my ass. Hold on. Last one.
Being an independent girly boss babe is overrated. Okay, have your skills, have your money, but let that man take care of you if he want to take care of you. And then also people be like, oh, if he pay all the bills and he leave you high and dry, what you gonna do? Use my money and my skills. I'm confused.
Yeah,
Why?
and people think because I pay all the bills, that means that I'm just broke.
Right.
Yeah.
No, that's a whole other thing. People be like, oh, she gonna leave you high and dry because you spend all your money on the bills.
Come on now.
How you know how much we got? Anyways.
I didn't hear her beginning part.
She said, being a strong woman, do everything yourself, that's overrated. Let
Oh,
him let him take charge and cover that.
yeah.
But then
I believe in a soft life now. I honestly believe in soft lives. Go girl, live your soft life. Live your soft life. I don't feel like nothing is wrong with it. I do feel like you should have some kind of, like you said, some kind of skills just in case. I don't feel like you should just totally depend on him. It's just something in the back of my mind. I
me too.
would not let somebody just totally take care of me. I'll be working part time or PRN somewhere. I just couldn't let him be the sole provider. But live your soft life and let a man take care of you. I don't feel like nothing is wrong with that.
It's a couple of reasons I don't think that is anything wrong with it. And again, it's probably because we're different type of women. If I didn't, I believe that you should still work,
Mm-hmm.
because if he's paying all the major bills, I want to pay the other stuff so he can properly save as well. And so that he's not stressed out, or if he needs to take time off work, he could take time off work comfortably. You're
Right.
at that point in your position. A wife is supposed to be a helpmate. So I don't see nothing wrong with that. I would probably do something, work from home, same thing like what I do now, or I would primarily focus on my business. I would still want an income coming in. So one,
Right.
I can keep my skills up to date. And then two, an idle mind is a devil's playground. And then three, I want him to always be comfortable that if anything happens, I can immediately jump in and have his back. I don't agree with like the good times life. Like James was working like that because women couldn't work back then. We out of that now, y'all. If you not bring enough money home, that if that man is sick for a month, he can't lay down, you need to have your tail at work too until y'all build to that point and at least have that nest egg there. Because I can't see myself being comfortable seeing my husband working so much, paying everything, stressed out because you got to cover everything, when I could help us build to the point where I could stay home if that's what he wanted from me. But I want him to be able to do a career he loves. No, he could take a vacation if he want. He could go buy things that he want, and every dime he has is not just going on bills. So he can be the man. You already the man, even as a partner. So I'm with her, girl. Don't be strong. But some of y'all way lazy. You way on the other side, and I don't agree with that either. But that's how I feel. So Happy Founders Day again to the ladies of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. Condolences to the, even one is too much. But I'm still, in hindsight, you got to find the things that keep you able to keep going. Most people were able to help their family members, and considering how many are displaced, I'm proud to be a Californian right now because people pitched in. If a neighbor had to help, if whatever people, I never seen nothing like this, and I think that is beautiful, and I enjoy seeing it because prior to this happening, I would have thought California didn't care about nobody, and we were so
At
superficial,
all.
and I did, and it's been a joy to see people stepping up, from street vendors to people giving out of their closet and giving things. It says in the Bible, when you give and it's easy, that's not the giving he's talking about because it's easy. He's talking about the giving where you have to maybe give to somebody that hurts you, and it actually requires you to dig into your heart and be a Christian. That's what give from your heart means. So it's been a pleasure to see that, and it's been some of my feel good medicine. If anybody has any questions about renter's insurance, you can always call your person that has your renter's insurance. But if you want to call me or write and ask about a particular thing that since I experienced it, then I will give you the answers. This is very different though, because it's large scale. There's way more
Right.
resources. I didn't have these kind of resources, so I don't know about all of them, but I could look into it. I do have connections. Red Cross, and then cousin knows about FEMA. I don't know about FEMA. And I also know about taking time off work. That I know. What else? On Thursday, we will be talking about the fire impact to small businesses and how to rebuild. News alert: if you decide not to rebuild, do not sell your land. If you can, get down there right now and get a blueprint or some type of printout, because I'm sure you don't have it if you lost your documents, that shows this land is mine and belongs to me. Have compassion as well for somebody that might didn't go through probate, and the house they was living in was their grandma's house, but they never transferred everything over. So that's not recognized as being your house. So I don't know how they gonna rebuild or what that does. Just have compassion for people right now. And if you don't understand why they're saying certain things, they're too devastated right now to explain it. If you want to help, help. If you don't. Everybody not going to explain all their business. On the flip side, be prepared for some questions, y'all, because before people give their money, it may be something that's not clear about your story, and that determines how much they're going to give, because we're trying to spread, those of us with resources are trying to spread them out to multiple people that we love and care for. If you can, any opportunities that you have to donate good stuff, y'all. Donate from the heart. Donate, even if it's closing your closet, stuff like that. Try to donate the ones with tags on them, or that you did only wore once, stuff
Yeah, I
like
saw a
that.
video like that today where a lady was saying that she is a volunteer and she's the one that goes through like all the items that people bring in, and she was like, you wouldn't even imagine the stuff that people
I
are
heard dirty clothes and everything been getting dropped
underwear,
off.
worn underwear that's dirty, toothbrushes with just throwing a toothbrush in there. You don't even know if somebody used that. Like she was like, just think about if you were the items that you donate, would you want them if you was in that predicament? She was like, and then go from there. Because a lot of people can't afford to go out and buy something brand new, but they still want to help, but they can't afford to go out and buy new things.
And if
So
you can't, donate your time. I'm going to volunteer on Sunday again, as something, but if you volunteer your time, what else can, you know what? A prayer sometimes goes that route, but you don't want to that's hurtful to receive stuff like that.
yeah,
Again, as somebody that lost everything, and I've had two house fires in my life. One, I lost everything, the other one I did not. But losing everything, what somebody hands you matters, because to you at that time, you feel like this is what my value is to you, or this is what you think
Right.
of me. It does. You're so emotional and so vulnerable, and your heart is just really tender at that moment. So be careful. If somebody don't like blue, don't hand them something blue because you just had it, because they might feel like you didn't have to get this to me because I hate this color, and why would I want to rebuild? It's just very hard. So don't be upset at the way that somebody might respond. Be a little tenderhearted, be patient, and just try to have some grace, because would you want to be handed something that you don't
Right.
like?
That's what I'm saying. Think about the stuff that you're giving away, what you wanted.
Oh, Jesus. Okay. We will see you on Thursday. I'm going to post the story time tomorrow, and I'm going to try to get videos out on the things that I'm not seeing people address. And they're more around renters insurance and different resources that are available as well. Be safe out there. And Rose, do you have anything to say before we close the show?
No, just praying for everybody involved in everything. Like, that everything goes well for everybody, and everybody will be able to rebuild. I hope the government really steps in and helps. Not that other people didn't deserve it that happened to them, but I've never seen
But
nothing
we don't
like
see anybody
this.
with boots on the ground. This is crazy.
Yeah, I've never seen nothing like this in my life. Like, I've never seen nothing like this. Where we come from, like, it was different when people was like, "Oh, it happened with Katrina," but we didn't live out there. This is something that happened out here, so it's closer to home, and to know we not far away from them. Like, it's not far at
We
all.
literally got alerts in my city
We
to
got alerts
be on
on Friday.
standby to evacuate.
We got alerts on Friday, and I was like, "What the hell?" So it's just my thoughts and prayers go out to everybody. If you was rich or if you wasn't, like, everybody that was involved.
Absolutely.
Everybody was involved. That's involved. I'm praying for you guys, like, for real.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, with that said, use your heart and decide what you can do. And let that be good enough. If all you have is a prayer, do you know how many prayers have saved my life? Do you know how many prayers have saved your life? A prayer goes a long way. That's perfect. That's from your heart. So
Yeah.
that is it from us tonight. I will see you actually on Thursday. We'll be having a show with the guys. Aside from that, you'll get the videos as I drop them, child. I'm trying to be on my grown woman, get my shit done here. Good night, Royals. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you for saying the whole long show. Good night.
Good night.